Hello casual nerds and welcome back to another brief Exvius video. It's Valentine's Day when this video is gonna be out. I think it's a bit late because the Valentine's Day event is actually started last Friday. Um, yeah, but it's been a real busy week. You can see the wall. It's a nice orange now. We're gonna leave. I'm gonna leave that blue and that pillar too. Yes, it's day, so if the usual camera angle would just give me a lot of backlighting. AC is covered, ceiling still needs some work, and we just got lots of paint stuff all over the floor there. Place is a mess, and I think it's going to be a bit echoey, so to bear with my voice projection and the current setup of everything. But yeah, so here we go. Let's get this started. Alright, so this is my run through of Elite, my first clear. It's is it a no item challenge? It's not really a challenge. I just kind of did it and found that this setup doesn't require any items to clear the whole exploration. Now, when I say items, I meant potions, elixirs, all these kind of things. Okay, so I don't think I use any items as far as to my knowledge, but you will see here what the setup is. So it's COD for that resist. I'm going to be wheeled by this 900 attack Noctis friendo, but if you don't have a whale friend, it's preferable that you get a whale friend. So because this dungeon is not exactly hard, but it's very long and you have to clear a lot of bosses. So we're gonna speed things up a bit right here. So if you don't have a whale friend, I hope you do try to get a very good attacker to make this faster for you. So the setup is going to be Rain is going to do all the leadership and undermine. This Ling is going to provide coverage for healing status elements as well as to give that MP, to recover that MP. Noctis is also going to do some MP and HP recovery. So that's why with this setup you don't exactly need to use any potions or adders. COD, yes, is my only magic resist Omniville unit, and Rivia is the healer. So this is kind of speed up, so you can't really see what I'm doing here, but basically it's just having Rain cast his leadership, COD with the Omniville, and then one of the Noctis with the cover to get that region in, and then it just flows from there. So if you can't exactly tackle the whole thing in one go, I think you can just take one side of it, whichever bosses elemental weaknesses works out better for you. Just take that path, get as much items as you can, and just exit the final stage, because you have to clear the final boss. That would mean that out of the 6 bosses, I think you will only be tackling 2 of them. You won't be tackling 2 of them. You'll be tackling at least 4, because 2 of them are in the middle. One at the middle and one at the end. You have to deal with it. So this spider thing is doing a lot of the earth damage and fire. But if you have Omniview and your leadership cast constantly up, it should not be a problem. The only thing is the status elements. I think it'll do some paralyze or what. Well, Ling is really good here because she has that natural evasive ability. She also can do a sort of an AoE revive and AoE kill status. COD could do the same. So with Ling and COD is like I'm covering all the bases here. Okay, and yes, and Ling could chakra herself if you need to, so she could basically heal her own health and mana, and she also has an ability to heal the whole team's mana. And that's why I'm not using any items, recovery items, despite being whaled, sort of putting a challenge to myself when I'm whaling myself. So that's how it's gonna roll. So for this boss, he does some really painful physical damage actually. If you get blind on your attackers, try to cure them out. If it's blind on your healers or anything, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so Rain kind of died here. I think I did revive him midpoint around here with Rapier. So yes, you could midpoint heal, but I did not midpoint any item usage. Okay, so this is one of the middle point bosses that you have to fight. Actually, all the bosses aren't that tough if you have your elemental resistance and your focus, leadership, your cheer focus if you don't have leadership, but everybody has leadership with Rain. And just keep those up constantly. You should be able to survive. The only problem here is your mana because leadership and Omniville is a real mana eater. That's why it's good to have a Noctis, or if you don't, you get a Noctis friend. And it's also very good to have Ling, because all of them have some MP recovery skill, kind of. Okay, so yeah, basically with the MP recovery, you can perpetually not require any healing items with a Raphia, of course, providing the HP recovery. Yeah. So at every end of the battle, you can see that I can kill it now, but I'm not doing it because I want to kind of make sure I get all that recovery, that MP healing and all that up as much as I can before killing the boss. And of course, Noctis have jump as well. I mean, not jump, that warp thing. What's it? It's just a warp thing. It is a jump icon, and that would recover himself, so he's self-sustaining as well. Okay, gonna slow down back to normal speed for this one, so you can clearly see how this is playing out. Leadership, Omniville, and gonna do some cover. This is basically the same for every single boss. You're gonna just cast this tree. Ling is just going to do some Imperial, right. I'm not sure. Does she naturally come with Imperial, or was it from Esper? That one I forget. But you can cast Imperial. I think I can equip Shiva to Ling. So Raphia first turn should be not doing anything, I think, just normal attack because first turn everybody's in good health anyway. Oh, so I cheered her, so it has a bit of 5% more from leadership for the attack and defense compared to cheer. I mean, cheer has 5% more than leadership. What am I saying? Is in my mind correctly, but it's blurted out wrongly. So he does a lot of elemental stuff, which you don't have to worry about if you have your Omniville cast on. I think Rain is taking a bit more damage because of some of his equipment is lowering his resistance to certain elements while heightening it to other elements. I think it's the fire shield. Okay, so Undermine, this is the second turn. He actually resisted fully. I think he resists breaks. I'm not sure because I wasn't able to break a single stat of him. It's quite scary because this twin hit dragon, like you can see, my team has all the stats down icon on attack and defense, so we are gonna take a bit more damage in the physical damage area. Should not be too much of a problem if your health is around 3.5k and up, and just constantly keep healing and all that. So okay, so you want to, if you have a very good attacker like Lunette or Lightning. In fact, Lunette or Lightning would be better attackers than Noctis because of their dual wield. You should be able to cut him down quite fast. Right. So I think 50% is going to do some kind of thing. I'm just going to use the Esper Golem here to provide a bit of coverage, additional coverage. So, okay. So that's the MP recovery that Ling had just used. I wish the numbers weren't green, but they are green like the health one, so it's a bit hard to differentiate. But it's 30, so everyone received 30 mana because COD was getting a bit low and the Omniville turn is about to start. So I think it's after this turn. Okay, so this is the past the 50% mark. You cast a lot of some kind of mass AoE status and stuff. You can see everybody's blind, silent. It would be horrible if you got confused. So this has a bit of luck in it, especially if you're confused on your heart eaters. So right here I'm deciding whether to use the comeback or to use Ling, because I do have some healing that I need to do, but I also need to revive Rain. So yeah, and I also, the cover turn is up. It's already the 4th turn, so we need to cast all the stuff again. Unfortunate Rain is dead, so I cannot cast leadership this turn. Yeah, so I did casting cover. I think I'm going to just use this guy to attack. You could use Noctis to revive as well. So Noctis is kind of good as an all-rounder kind of unit. Not really an attacker, but people seem to like to make him to an attacker because of this passive setup with weapons. Okay, so yes, Ling is going to do the revive, Rafia is going to do the Kill Raja, COD is going to heal all the status, Noctis is going to cast cover, and the other Noctis, did I set him to, yeah, I set him to wall break. I'm not so much on the break, it's more on the attack damage, because Noctis wall break actually does much more damage than his blindside and other things. So even if it's not just for the break. So okay, so Rayfield did this. This guy is scary because I don't have my leadership on, and neither do I have my Cheercaster because Rayfield is doing the heal on that turn. Okay, but with Noctis round, you can revive him. With Ling, Ling could also revive her. So got a lot of revivers here. Right. So I think we could end him because the health is quite low. We're just going to do this and just everybody just attack. Okay, and that's that. Right. got a bit carried by my ally there, so so thankfully for that. If not, I would suggest that you bring a Cecil as well to have a sort of like a double healer and also a cover to some of the physical damage. And also Cecil's ulti is very useful. Unlike Rain, actually, Rain's limit burst is just pathetic. It's, well, leadership is good and stuff. So right here, I actually made this path, skipping these two bosses to see whether I could clear it. Because my first attempt was a fail. Because I actually didn't brought Ling on my first attempt, so it was a bit tougher. And with Ling, it's a bit easier. I think I brought Exdev in replace of Ling, which turned out to be not very good because Exdev is, well, his magic doesn't exactly deal a lot for these bosses, and him being a semi-mage thing isn't, yeah, he's a mage, but he doesn't wear robes and hats. So his health and defensive stats are a bit low. His defensive stat is higher than the average mage, but him being a mage is still considered low. Okay. So I'm just going back because I saw that I could recover anyway with Raphia, like what I did now, and yeah, no item was used. And I should stop bragging that, but yeah, it's not really a brag when you got carried by a whale. So it's just to compensate, okay, because I got carried by a whale. Nothing to justify myself with, but yeah, it's a busy week. So I just take the best ally I can get and just get this over and done with. Yeah, I kind of didn't even use Noctis ultimate. I should use it more. So yeah, get all items and exit. Or you could exit prematurely and come back and do another run on the other path. It should work because it's like any exploration. I didn't try it though because I'm still doing all this painting and stuff. So yeah, so that's it. This is all the items that you will get if you complete in one go. Or if you complete in 2 goes, you get some half here, half there. You can actually miss some of the other items. It doesn't matter. What's more important is the items at the end, because the chest below is like the 6 stars evolution materials and stuff. Not too important because of that's the current mana secret mana farming event. So with that, you could actually farm from there. So 5 materials don't really mean that much. So you have a tough time clearing, just take one path and just go through the end. Take that 15% attack. I think that's the most important one, and getting the clear to get that 5-star Moogle. I mean, not 5-star Moogle, 5% Moogle, 3-star Moogle. So yeah, so that's the run of this dungeon. Okay, so that's it, and I'm going to stop this video here and going back to painting the ceiling. Right, so I'll see you in another video pretty soon. Bye bye!